Wicked Witches. It's Aries dark moon, it's Mercury retrograde in Aries, and it's a full solar eclipse in Aries, and Chiron the wounded healer is right up involved in it all, and Venus and Mars, and it's a very Aries focused energy. So lots of fire, and we're working this evening with Emperor energy, so your sovereignty. And this was what we did with our pilgrimage, walking the spine of Albion last year in September, in autumn. We walked from Edinburgh to the Isle of Wight, along the spine of Albion, massaging the earth with our feet and our intentions. And we performed a play about King Arthur, and a legend that when the land was in need, that King Arthur would rise again to set the people free. But the point that we were making was that we're all sovereign, and that we all have a right to question how the land is being treated, and you know, we're all human, we're all equal. Some laws and some rules were put in place by people through nefarious means hundreds, thousands of years ago, and we're all kind of under bondage of behaving and complying with these rules, but they're fucking made up. They're all made up, and deserve to be questioned, and especially when we're all going to hell in a handcart, and the people who made these rules up are the ones that have put us in this place predominantly. So absolutely fully deserve to be questioned, fully deserve to be sitting in our sovereignty, and we fully deserve to be asking these questions and expecting answers, and having the right to want to know. So yeah, sitting in our sovereignty, wearing our crowns, owning our power. And it's a solstice, so an eclipse. So with an eclipse, it's the shutting of a door. It's a fresh beginning, because it's, you know, the sun, the moon and the sun are kind of cancelling each other out. It becomes dark, so then it's a new beginning. So it's a new eclipse, and the north and south nodes are also in Aries and Libra, which is why the eclipses are happening in that spectrum, and so that means we're looking at Libra is the collective, Aries is the individual, and Libra is about kind of community and working to support the higher good and collectiveness, and Aries is about making sure that you've put the oxygen mask on yourself first and not burning yourself out. And it's interesting because it's Mercury retrograde now, and apparently, because I'm a Capricorn, it was going to really affect me this one. But what I've actually found is that I completely burnt myself out in February. I completely screwed myself over, was absolutely burnt out, and now actually I feel in a really good place to be able to hold the space for other people to go through whatever they're going through, because I kind of feel like I learned my lesson. I did burn myself and now I'm feeling better and ready for the wedding and the festival, and even like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in my world at the moment in terms of the government and stuff, and I feel okay, even though it's horrifying, some of it. I'm all right, I'm okay. So yeah, I just sort of feel like I'm in a really good place, and I'm ready to hold space for things to happen. And yes, the world is full of madness, but it's okay. And I'm learning a lot. My journey at the moment is very much about fine-tuning my outer worldness, which is actually really good, because that's kind of the easier bit, you know, like Instagram-y world, all that kind of thing that I find really icky. But it's interesting because the devil card's been coming up. That's another thing that's going to be revealed with the solar eclipse, is that the devil's comet will become visible. And And what the devil represents in tarot is kind of like, when you think about what the devil is, it's like temptation of outer worldness. So like greed and just like you know, I don't know, sort of Donald Trumpiness, like having a Trump Tower and you sitting up there thinking you're the best thing in the world and better than everybody else, and having girls all half naked and diamonds and snorting coke off someone's arse and whatever. Like, that is the devil. But we then worry about that in ourselves, and actually we're not all Donald Trumps and we're not all behaving like that. We have moments where we do, we all have moments where we behave badly, but also part of the trick and part of the game is to trick you into feeling bad and icky about outer world success. And I had such a revelation. I've been having an amazing journey recently, and the revelation of I've always felt like, and always been told, that you spend your emotional money and your spiritual money, and then the money will flow to you, real money will flow to you, and that's just bollocks. It hasn't. I've been doing that for 20 years and it just hasn't. And actually now I realise two things. One, my product needs to be good enough for it to be worth loads of money, but also then there's this ickiness about like, what, I don't want my product, you know, like I do these things for free. I do this for free, but there are things that I do make that are not for free, like my book and the podcast that I've just been making, that I'm nearly ready to put out. Just making sure that they're good quality so that they'll be good enough for word to spread, for it to get lots of listeners, and then maybe that will then fund my Patreon, which will mean that I will earn money. So it's fine-tuning the outer world so that it's of good enough value for you to be worth something. And the second thing that I realised about this whole thing, which was an amazing bit of advice I was given, was that your higher version of yourself, which is all it cares about is your higher purpose and helping you towards your higher purpose, doesn't care about money at all. Like, it could be that the quickest way for you to reach your higher purpose is for you to be poor and struggling, which I feel like it has been for me. I feel like it's been good for me to not have success young, which I kind of felt almost like it was written in the stars that I would. And so it's been a journey. It was a big journey for me turning 30 because things hadn't turned out how I'd expected them to. And I've dodged that bullet, actually. If I'd been famous in my 20s, I'd probably be dead now. And I'd definitely be an awful human being. If I had, I would be the devil. I would have been consumed with hedonism and big-headedness. And yeah, I'm already an arrogant, egotistical twat. If I'd had all of that, I would have been awful. So I feel like I've reached a point in myself where I can healthily hold that. So like, if I did get success or fame, I would be able to deal with it now, which I wouldn't have, I don't think, until now. And I don't want to be famous. It would be like a little bit famous. So for me, the ideal situation would be if my book did as well as The Salt Path. So like, I don't even know the name of the author of The Salt Path, but I've heard of The Salt Path and most people I know have. So I've written a book about pilgrimage. I'd like it if like most people have heard of the book. They wouldn't necessarily be able to tell you what the author's name is, and they definitely wouldn't recognise you in a cafe. But everyone knows your book, and you'll be invited to go talk at, you know, festivals and literary festivals and things like that. That is what I want. That's what I want. And it's kind of, now I've got that clarity, it's like, how can I produce a good enough product that that's achievable? And that's all outer world stuff. And that is not what my higher version of myself is necessarily interested in. However, if I make it be, then because it's a two-way relationship. It's like the game player and the avatar. It's like, yeah, okay, you can make the avatar do all the hardest stuff to get best at the game, but actually the avatar's turning around and going, yeah, but you know what, I need to pay the rent and I need to eat and I need some plan for my old age. I need some financial stability, and actually these are things that I need. So it's this two-way relationship, and it doesn't hurt for the avatar to have really good tools and weapons and armor and whatever, like skills and all that. It doesn't hurt for the avatar to be well equipped, because it's still like how you choose to play the game, what path you take, how you treat the other players, all those things. That's still part of it. Like, it doesn't matter if you've got a good toolkit, you know. Normally when you're playing a game, you're always trying to get the best things for your avatar. You don't normally try and just make it as hard for the avatar as you possibly can. So it's that relationship. It's just that it's not the higher version of yourself's kind of main focus, but you can request it to give it a bit more focus and to support you, and you can ask it questions, which is what we'll be doing tonight. So I'm going to be tuning into the higher version, my trusted source. I'm asking it for advice in this solstice of like, what's its advice and feedback on things like that, and then write it down and write down the things that I want, and then burn them and just send them off to the universe. Like, it's just sending it out there. It's a new moon, so it's new beginnings, and it's Aries new moon, so it's the new moon of new moons, and we've got this solstice which is just a clean slate. So it's like, okay, starting from absolute scratch with no preconceptions, no old stories about money, none of the old shit that I have around that subject. How can I move forward? And that's my thing. So whatever your thing is, to think about that. So let's do a reading with all that in mind. So a reading for the Aries new moon, eclipse, portal madness. Okay, new dawn. So literally a new dawn, new beginning, new dawn. And it's because that's not the silver birch, which is another rune, is like literally new beginnings. But this is a new dawn. It's like illuminating something new. It's like, so when to know something, you think about how know is spelled Nknow. So to know something is I see, which makes the K. Oh yeah, that way. I see now. I see now. I see now. That's the new dawn. But also what the now is no W. And W is the twin, which is also what this rune is. So the infinity symbol, the inner and the outer. It's like, I see now. I see no W. And that W is the split. And when you're not split, you get the full. And that's when you're fully in the moment and the magic is really flowing. Okay, so in the physical world, it's be brave. So really, like steadfast, do the work. It's a horse. That symbol is for the horse. So it just means physically put the work in, be diligent, be steadfast, be solid, and be brave. And yeah, don't shirk away. And then we've got Thoraz, the thorn. This is one of my favourite runes, and this is in air, in the communication. And so that means like, say what needs to be said. It's not necessarily going to be, it's not sugar coated. It's tough and scary, but it's worth it. It's time to be saying what needs to be said and put yourself out there. For me, it would be my podcast, and I'm writing a column now for the local newspaper, and just, yeah, I'm scared. Like, and it's that thing of being a little bit famous. I've kind of accidentally put myself in that position in the Channel Islands, which it really just sort of stumbled into happening. Someone suggested to me that I should say to the newspaper, would you be up for me writing a column? So I asked them, and it's for free, I'm not getting paid. And I've just been sending it in, but it's what's actually just a very small amount of copy actually takes up a huge amount of space in the newspaper. But also it's in the newspaper for Guernsey. So that's Guernsey, Alderney, Guernsey, yeah, actually probably is in Alderney. Guernsey, Alderney, Herm and Sark all get this newspaper. And I'm getting like a whole page every fortnight in it. So I've been like not sharing how to get hold of me. I don't have any Twitter handle or, Instagram handles or anything like that on there. It just says my name. It doesn't say how to get hold of me or advertise anything. But it was just weird. I went over the last week and I did see people looking at me, and I'm just like, everyone reads the paper here. Like, it's a kind of a dead thing now in the UK, but like, it's not so much here. It is the local newspaper. So that's funny. So that little bit famous, that's interesting. So this is for the South fire. So this is about being brave. And this is kind of what I was just saying, like, be really courageous in your passions. So the North is be brave in a horse way. So the horse is about like, don't just be diligent. Whereas this South one is being so sensitive and attuned that your antlers can pick up danger before it appears, but also that you're wild and free. Because you've got that sensitivity, you're able to be completely wild and free. And I feel like that's coming up a lot in terms of like politics and stuff for me. I've got to be brave, but it's knowing that you're being sensitive about it and trusting your instincts. And in your spiritual, being direct, being really clear about what you want. And I feel like that with this Aries energy and this eclipse is that, yeah, Libra is the collective and Aries is what do you need and what do you want, and being really clear. And I just feel like that is where, like, I definitely feel like that's where I'm at. That is important for me now, to be clear with my higher version of myself, that I have needs as well, and that I can't carry on like this. I am now completely skint. I haven't got the money to pay my rent after this month, and I've been working my absolute arse off all year, you know, 4 months in, but it's all literally been voluntary stuff for the collective. It's all been Libra collective stuff. So I'm in the government. I'm in four committees of the government, the 4 main committees of the government. That's all free. I'm running a festival and putting on a festival for the island, which is now the only festival left on the island, and has completely filled the island. There's no accommodation left. It's like completely sold out. The island's sold out. The festival's sold out. I've done that for the island. That's going to be like the biggest boost of the economy, probably for the year. I mean, there might be some other events that equal it, but it's a big deal. That was all for free. I'm writing this column for free. I'm doing the podcast for free. I've written a book for free. Like, some money might end up coming in from them, but at the moment I haven't earned any money from them. And it's just like, I can't keep doing that. So I need to get clear about my needs, and we all need to be doing that. So what's coming up for you? What's been coming up? For me, February was where it really showed me what I needed to think about this Mercury retrograde. So it's Mercury retrograde to the end of the month, and it's just, yeah, like, what's been coming up? Where are you putting other people's needs before your own? Where have you been burning yourself out? Cool. So the moon, so this is the inner world. This is also the dark night of the soul. So this is literally what I was just saying. What's been coming up? What has been bubbling through? What dreams have you been having? What's been emotionally happening? And there we have the Fool. So I don't pull this card very often, and it means a lot to me when I do. And to pull it today on the solstice, the solar eclipse, feels really incredible. So this is that untwist. So this is this untwisted. How can we bring our inner and outer into one? How can we, the collective and the individual, become one? How can we give up having enemies and be all one? Community is everything. It is, but then also you need to look after yourself. So, and it just feels like, yeah, with an eclipse, you're making the zero. You're making this ring of light, of magic, of fire, Aries fire, and that's the Fool, the zero, and it's just like, what a time to be pulling the Fool. That was a bit special. And it equals pleasure. So it should all be a pleasure. And that's been one of the things I've been saying to the people about the festival and to myself. You know, we are working really hard. It's fucking hard work. And quite, you know, it's people who are quite ungrateful about it. You know, I don't know. There's always going to be haters, aren't there? But we should only be doing it if it's a pleasure. Like, if you're wearing martyring yourself for it, what's the point? Like, only ever do what you have the capacity to do, and only do it because you want to. And I think that's really important with everything. You've got to just do it because you want to do it, and you're committed to how good it's going to be. Like, it's going to be fun, it's going to be great, it's worth it, you think it's worth it, and it's no problem, you know? Because I think we're always like trying to like compete with who's working hardest and who's like having the worst time, and all of that actually needs to stop. And it's something I can slip into. It's like a competitive thing of who's having the hardest time, but how to let that go. Sovereign, yes, Emperor, yeah, where's your crown, wear your crown. Oh my God, that's amazing. Of course. Well, yes, please, wear your crown, be the queen that you are. We're all sovereign here. This is our land, this is our world, and this is our bodies. Thank you, body. Love you, body. Well, that's pretty amazing. Whoopsie. Got here, Gypsy Soul. Now, for me, that's being free-spirited and being free, which is kind of like this one here, the antler one. So how to be, yeah, just not feeling like you're trapped or tied down by things. And that Gypsy Soul also, in terms of you know, money and the world and all that kind of thing, it's like we are nomads, really. That's what we actually are. We're free spirits. So don't let the hierarchy tell you that you're below someone with a crown, and don't let them tie you down and make you feel trapped. Because what's the point? I mean, the fool is free. The fool doesn't do a 9-to-5 job, that's for sure. Ah, cool. So I've never pulled this card before. So White Buffalo Calf Woman, alignment. So I'll read out what she says. I've never seen her before. White Buffalo Calf Woman. She feels like quite a gypsy spirit as well. Okay. The White Buffalo Calf Woman, also known as the White Buffalo Maiden, is an ancient goddess central to the Lakota religion. She serves as their primary deity, bestowing upon the Lakota people their 7 sacred rites, meant to instruct them on how to protect Mother Earth, as well as Shananupa, their sacred ceremonial pipe. These ceremonies include rituals for purification, child naming, healing, marriage, ensuring that her people will be blessed with future harmony and balance. The pipe has several key features. The bowl is made of red stone to represent the earth. A buffalo head is carved into the pipe to represent the animal kingdom. The pipe's stem is made of wood to connect it with nature, and 12 eagle feathers hang from the middle to symbolise the bird in the sky. The White Buffalo Calf Woman beckons you forth to help you see your alignment with the divine. We are beings of light and energy, composed of the very stardust from the birth of the universe. The atoms and molecules that fuel the brightest stars in the night sky also carry blood to your heart and oxygen to your brain. With this knowledge in hand, the White Buffalo Calf Woman requests that you reflect on your connection with the most powerful forces at work all around you, so that you can hear what they're telling you. When you're aware of your full potential, you become truly conscious of the beauty of your alignment with the divine source. This is absolutely what I feel like is going on. It's like, I just feel like there's no more grasping. It's about the alignment. It's exactly the right word. Pulling it all back in, bringing it in, and giving yourself permission to be free. Free is so important. That's the gypsy spirit. It's like being free. Like, we didn't choose this. So being free, being a sovereign, sitting on your throne, wearing your crown, owning your power. This is all Aries energy. And yeah, that gypsy soul is very fiery. And just being in your power. It's interesting because it's easy to think that humans are the problem, and we are the problem for everything that's kind of gone wrong, but we're also the solution. Community is going to be what saves us, and we're all single units of a community. So it's looking after yourself and working to look after your pixel, but your pixel is within a picture, and the pixels you're connected to are your community. and how you are and how your being influences them, and you support them, and then gradually that makes the bigger picture. So sometimes it's overwhelming to look at the big picture because it's too much, but if you can work on your pixels and your pixel, then that's where we can do the work. But we've got this, guys, we have. So thank you. It's a new dawn. Happy solar eclipse, Aries dark moon, and yeah, I'll see you again soon.